if there is such a thing as the Miata of the crossover brigade, this might just be it. On this edition of Test Drive, the Mazda CX-3. The 2019 Mazda CX-3 has been tweaked to keep it in touch with the rest of the subcompact crowd. Impressive is the amount of standard safety equipment on the GT. Along with forward collision avoidance with auto braking and lane departure warning, come things like adaptive headlights with auto high beams. That's far more equipment than some more expensive rigs. The CX-3's cabin's been reworked very effectively. Much nicer materials, better front seats, but most importantly, all models, including the base car, now come with standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. So what's missing? Quite simply, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Under the hood, the CX-3 gets a tweaked 2-litre Skyactiv 4 that pushes 148 horsepower, which is up 2 from last year, and 146 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM. The engine works with a 6-speed automatic with paddle shifters and Mazda's iActive all-wheel drive. There is a sport mode, and it does perk things up, but it has the tendency to hold each gear too long when puttering about town. As such, it mandates toggling between sport and normal according to the driving situation. Now, the early entry of the torque means that you get a pretty good launch off the line and a sustained mid-range, and it'll take you to 100k in 9.2 seconds. But the other side of the rework is better fuel economy. During the test, we got an average of 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres, which is pretty good for an all-wheel drive vehicle. The iActive all-wheel drive system, which is standard on the GT, is front drive based but with a small amount of torque going rearward. The system is smart. For example, it looks at wiper usage to determine if the road is wet and outside temperature to look for an icy road. It then adjusts the amount of torque flowing rearward in a seamless and unobtrusive manner. Its ability adds enormously to the manner in which the CX-3 drives. When you get to the back seat, well, it's really only designed for 2 adults because of the dome in the middle of the seat and the central tunnel. Legroom, it's also limited if the front seat riders are tall. When you get to the back end here, there's actually decent trunk space. 408 litres with the seats upright, and if you fold them all down, that gives you 1,484 litres. Through the pylons, the retuned suspension brought minimal body roll, benign understeer and a crisp response to steering input. Helping matters is G-vectoring control. Simply stated, it momentarily reduces engine output when entering a corner, which preloads the front tyres. This action brings a sharper turn in response. The plus is that what could have been a very annoying trait remains invisible to the riders. It's a clever way of improving steering response and rider comfort at the same time. When taken individually, the changes to this CX-3 really don't seem to make much difference. You add them all together and it sure does, because you end up with a more likeable and certainly much safer drive. In the end, it puts this thing back at the forefront of its segment.
If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you like and share us, and also make sure you check out our ongoing contest to win lots of swag from Motoring TV and our sponsors. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. 30 years of Motoring TV, a virtual automotive video goldmine at your fingertips.